What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we are discussing the price action of Ethereum. I'm going to be going over what my expectations are for the coming days, coming weeks, and coming months for Ethereum's price. We're going to give levels, key levels to pay attention to, directional headings, all of that. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are. It's the 21st day of September. It is Sunday, the very end of the week, and we've got about 3 hours, 34 minutes left in the day here, sitting just below $4,500. We look at the weekly time frame. Pretty neutral week, a big nothing burger of a week, 2.5% to the downside. That's not that big of a deal. We look at this on a grand scope of things, and you can see that Ethereum is just precariously perched here right on top of its prior areas of resistance, right? It was finding resistance here time and time again, and now we're consolidating right above this area. Prior cycle high area, we're consolidating here. My thoughts are, with this kind of significant resistance, which might be the most significant, your all-time high, the fact that you're not just coming up and then coming down tells me that we're probably going to break out. And I hope it tells you that too, right? Anybody and everybody who's telling you that Ethereum is going to drop from here, that the bull market's over, that the bear market's about to begin, they're wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but they're still wrong, right? That's just how it is. Let's get into the short-term stuff. Let's talk about the short-term price action, go over what I'm expecting over the coming day and days. And then we'll zoom back out and talk about the good stuff, which is going to happen over the coming weeks and months going into the end of this year and the end of the cycle, okay? Those are not the same, though. I think the end of the cycle will be in 2026, not the end of this year. I think a lot of people are going to get messed up from that. But we'll see. We'll see. The MACD here, looking like it wants to cross above the zero. Nice. Stochastics are overbought, which is good. The RSI, honestly, is kind of neutral yet bearish. I don't like that we're rejecting this area that you've rejected a couple of times here. That makes me think that we might come down a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, in all fairness, we got 33 minutes left in this hour. We might not be rejecting it. If we can come up and we can close green, I think that would look good. That's actually some friendly candlestick action going on there. We do have higher lows overall. We're kind of looking to push higher. Maybe the RSI is lying to us for once. I don't know. We're above the 236. I think we're going higher, actually. I stand by it. If we go lower, cool. We're at 44.90 right now. What, we're going to go to like 44.80, 44.50 at the lowest. I highly doubt that we go lower than that, though. I think you look good, Ethereum. I think you look like you want to move up higher going into the end of the day and even starting out the next week. Now, you might see some turbulence next week just to start out the week, but I would assume that next week does grow into a green week as well. If we're looking at this here, from a relative low to a relative high. Is that the relative low? I can't tell because you have all this volume here. Okay, cool. Low to high. Holding support at the golden ratio. You rejected the 0.5, and I would think that you would have gone lower here, but the fact that you're back up here makes me think you want to go higher. Once we get above this high point here, once we get above about 46.37, that red line right there, and these highs here, we're going to be all systems go for new all-time highs. Okay, we're going to see some rapid increase, and I would think just at the current rate, you know, maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday, right? That's that kind of time frame right there, Tuesday, Wednesday, which would be the 23rd or the 24th of this month. That would be whenever we're breaking out and moving higher. Okay, so in the next couple of days, I think that Ethereum and, you know, in direct confluence with that, the rest of the market, all the altcoins and everything, if Ethereum's moving up, we're going to have altcoins move up as well. Things should be coming alive over the next few days, I would think, right? We might even see some rumblings right now, various projects pumping and distracting you in the midst of all that. If we're looking at this here with our indicators drawn, you do have higher lows in the stochastics, finding support here, whatever. I mean, the stochastics look pointed upwards, look like they want to get into the overbought zone. That's nice, right? Typically with this kind of formation, you do continue to grow. MACD is kind of bearish, but it's not a big deal. I mean, you did just flip green. You are building bullish momentum now, so that's nice to see. And the RSI, while yes, you're below the 50 and looking like you want to reject it here, we still have 3 hours, 30 minutes left in this 4-hour time frame, looking like we wicked and we want to come back up to close it green. And while we are rejecting the 50 here, at least below the 50, at the very least below the 50, we've been getting overbought. We have not been getting oversold. We actually rejected the oversold zone. So I think that looks really good, how you actually got bounced off the oversold zone, found support at the 40, now you're moving up higher. I very much believe that this is a good succession of events that's taking place in the 4-hour RSI. 4-hour time frame promotes growth over like the coming days. Over the coming days, we'll start to grow. We'll grow and grow. And then once we're above here, we should start to break out. We should see some phenomenal price action going into the end of the month. That's my expectation. Daily time frame here, The stochastics, I don't necessarily like the stochastics, but I don't hate it either. Sometimes you wrestle around down here, and then if you bounce, if you can cross up and continue to move higher, point these upwards toward the overbought zone and not get oversold, that would very much promote the idea that I've been saying, which is that we will pump going into the end of this month. The RSI holding the 50 as support is definitely instrumental in that as well. I think closing today green, closing the corresponding days green would be very, very helpful to that effect. We're finding support here at prior resistance here. Things are looking good. Overall, the daily RSI is very bullish for Ethereum. So are the stochastics. And the MACD is also in a bullish posturing overall, even though we're cross red here. So there's good things. There's some bad things, but I think predominantly we've got more bullish things taking effect rather than bearish things. Looking at the weekly time frame now, zooming out a little bit again, getting back to this idea that we are consolidating above an area that we were held down by for so long, consolidating at our all-time high area, which if you return to your all-time highs and you're going to find resistance there, you typically do it right away. Typically. Okay. Not that it can't happen. Anything can happen. But I highly doubt at this point in time that we're going to drop lower. If we're looking at these liquidation levels, let's look at them on Ethereum here over the past 30 days. I think there's more longs than shorts. Yeah, there's a lot more longs than shorts, but that's okay. That's okay. We've seen Ethereum move up even with more longs than shorts. I'm pretty sure throughout this whole time frame here, there were more longs than shorts, and we still moved up a lot. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to some degree. But over the past week, there's more shorts than longs. Over the past day, there's it's about the same, right? But it's the weekend, less reliable. If you're going to long or if you're going to short as we're moving up, we're going to keep moving up. And there are about $5 billion in shorts, $6 billion in shorts over the past week that have been listed. $5 billion just to get back to 4,700. And again, remember, the target area to get above is about 4,700. We get above 4,700, you guys, things are looking really, really frisky there. When we start to move up, and that's going to be any day now, I would assume, again, Wednesday to Thursday, maybe Tuesday of this coming week over the next couple of days here, we're going to see Ethereum pick up at a very fast pace, and I think alt season will really commence and kick off starting this end of month, going into the end of September and going into October here. That doesn't mean every coin's going to pump. Some coins will pump, some coins won't. Everything takes its turn, and that's fine, okay? Not every coin's going to move up at the same time, but we're going to look back at it months from now, and it's going to feel like every coin moved up at the same time. They'll be off by like a week or something like that, but maybe a couple weeks here or there for a few of them. High to low. Not every coin's the same. Not all of them will move up the same, but they all are going to move up in the same general time frame. The next target area to hit, being that we're above the 886 now, would be the 1272. Anytime you break above the 886, you can see how key this level is. You immediately start to think about the 1272 and beyond, the 1272 to the 1618. Now, this is what I call the primary target zone, the primary fib zone. All right. It's the primary target zone for a reason. It's a very key area, and I would expect that we find some turbulence here before working our way higher. If and when we get above $14,000 this cycle on a weekly closing basis or higher time frame closing basis, that would allow us to explore the secondary target zone, which is the 1886 to the 2618. Now, I'm just going to be blunt with you. Even though, yes, this is the secondary target zone by all definitions, that is the secondary target zone. I say by all definitions, by my definition. I'm the one that identifies this as primary target zone and secondary target zone, right? Each of these, I mean, that's the primary, secondary, tertiary target, but I'm getting on the semantics here. I want to get back to what I'm talking about. Even though this is what I identify as the secondary target zone, I don't believe we're getting here by the end of the cycle. I don't believe we're getting here by the end of the cycle. No, sir. I think 27K is pushing it, but we could get there. 22K could be where we go. Absolutely. I think something between about 14K or higher will be where we are by the end of the cycle. Okay, but I'm jumping ahead a little bit. First and foremost, again, looking at last cycle's high to the bear market low, the first target's at about $7,700. We take the high that was the high of this cycle back in December of last year to the low here in April 7th, high to low, our golden ratio is at about $8,000, which lines up very well with that 1272. I predict that where we will be by the end of October, over the next like 6 weeks or maybe even 7 weeks, maybe in the early parts of November, there's actually a lot of stuff lining up for that first week of November to be when we top off, but I digress. $8,000 will be where we are. I don't believe that we stop there. Again, this is the primary target zone, the 1618 to the 1272. Ethereum will just be breaking out of its bear market, bull market, consolidation, whatever you want to call this, right, where it's just been held down by that last all-time high. we're not going to stop at the minimum target and then that's the rest of the cycle, right? That's done. No, we're going to stop here momentarily, find some turbulence, and then continue to build going into the end of the year. I would think that by the end of 2025, Ethereum is at $10K to $14,000. So again, to make it clear, $8,000 end of October, maybe the first week of November, 10K to 14K by the end of 2025. After that, I believe we will continue to rally going into 2026, and we should see in April or May prices that are as high as 22 to 26.8K. And look at all the significance we have here, you guys. Okay, first off, with the 1414, this target right here, it's very common to wick above it. What's just above it here? The 1886200, these levels from this relative fib, from this high to low. Whoops, I didn't draw that right, but from this point here to this point here. These fibs overlay a direct target area from these fibs here, from the high to low there. The 1618, typically Ethereum actually does like to wick through its 1618 a little bit. That could send us all the way up here, but I don't think we go to the 2272. I would think we go probably just above the 1618, 14K, 15K, something like that. We break above that. If we break above the golden ratio, we automatically think about going here. We break above the 2272, we automatically think about going to the 2618. The 2618 stops right there, smack dab in the middle of this zone. There's a lot of congruence and a lot of, let's say, coincidences that line up in this area, in these areas. I very much believe that Ethereum has a solid chance of not just seeing $15,000 by the end of the cycle, but seeing 22K or higher by the end of the cycle, right? I believe we'll be at 15K, 14K, something like that by the end of the year. We'll see how it goes. Even if we're a little bit less than that, that's fine. We could be at 10K by the end of the year and still hit a 22K price by the end of the cycle. But I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said it all. We didn't go over the weekly indicators, but the weekly RSI is bullish, very, very bullish. I don't like that we're rejecting off the overbought zone here necessarily, but I still think it looks bullish overall. Stochastics are bullish and the MACD is bullish as well. We're waiting for this end of month price action to take place. If in the next week we don't see some life, if we don't really take off over the coming week here, then we'll probably have to rethink our strategy. Maybe we do come down a little bit and maybe things are off as far as timing goes. Maybe we don't go as high as I previously assumed, but a lot of that should be made clear over the next week, over the next month. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm just going to end it there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.